In the heart of the Peloponnese, among rugged mountains and silent rivers, rose a city unlike any other. A city built not on wealth or art, but on discipline, sacrifice, and war. Sparta. The story of Sparta is the story of how humanity forged warriors instead of citizens, and turned survival into a sacred duty. The Spartans do not ask how many are the enemy, but where they are. Plutarch. Around 1200 years before Christ, the ancient Mycenaean world began to fall apart. The great palaces of Mycenae, Tiryns and Pylos, once symbols of order and power, collapsed into ruin. Trade stopped, kings disappeared, and Greece descended into darkness. But from that darkness, new powers began to rise. In the valley of the Eurotas River, archaeologists discovered traces of an ancient settlement near the Menelaon, the legendary home of King Menelaus, husband of Helen of Troy. When the Mycenaean world collapsed, the old order died with it, and new voices began to emerge, the Dorians. According to legend, told by Herodotus and Thucydides, the Dorians were guided by the descendants of Heracles, the Heraclidae. They claimed to return to the Peloponnese to reclaim what was rightfully theirs, after the gods themselves gave them permission through the Oracle of Delphi. Names like Temenus and Aristodemus became the founding heroes of the Spartan bloodline. For the Spartans, this myth was more than a story. It was their destiny. Their kings, from the Agiad and Eurypontid dynasties, claimed to be sons of Heracles himself, warriors by birth, rulers by divine right. For centuries, it was believed that the Dorian migration was an invasion, but modern archaeology tells a quieter and far more fascinating story. There are no signs of massive destruction, no burnt cities, no evidence of war. Instead, there is continuity, a merging of cultures, Mycenaean and Dorian, that gave birth to something new. Sparta, a society forged not by conquest, but by discipline and unity. Between the 10th and 9th centuries before Christ, 4 small villages, Pitane, Mezoa, Cynosura and Limnae, merged into one. This union, known as the Cynocism, marked the birth of the city-state of Sparta. It was more than geography, it was an idea, a belief that the collective was greater than the individual, that obedience was strength. Sparta's government was unlike any other in Greece. 2 kings ruled together, one from each royal house, commanding the army in times of war. They were advised by the Gerousia, a council of elders whose wisdom shaped the fate of the city, and the Apella, the People's Assembly, approved or rejected their decisions, without debate, without question. Sparta was order. Every man and woman had a role. The Spartiates, full citizens, the Perioikoi, free workers and craftsmen, and the Helots, enslaved peoples bound to the land. A pyramid of power designed for one purpose, to sustain war. From the age of 7, every Spartan boy was taken from his home and placed into the agoge, a brutal system of training where weakness was not tolerated. They learned to endure hunger, pain, fear. They learned to kill in silence and die with pride. Their lives belonged to the state. Even the women of Sparta were different. They trained their bodies, raced, wrestled, and grew strong, because strong mothers would bear strong sons. Before war, they told their children, "Come back with your shield, or on it." By the 5th century before Christ, Sparta stood as the most feared military power in Greece. When Persia invaded, Sparta led the defense of Hellas. At Thermopylae, 300 Spartans faced an empire. And though they fell, their courage ignited a legend that still burns today. But absolute power breeds weakness. After defeating Athens in the Peloponnesian War, Sparta ruled Greece with iron discipline. Yet its rigid system could not adapt. Its strength became its prison. In 371 BC, at Leuctra, the Theban general Epaminondas broke the Spartan line. The unbreakable warriors of old were shattered. Sparta would never recover. By 146 BC, Sparta was absorbed by the growing Roman Empire. Its temples turned to ruins, its barracks to dust. The echo of marching soldiers faded into memory, but Sparta's spirit never died. It lives in every soldier who values discipline over comfort, duty over self, honor over fear. Sparta was never just a city. It was an idea, a reminder that power without purpose is hollow, and that true strength is born not from numbers, but from the heart of those who will never surrender.